One of the agencies that's urging the international community to pay more attention to the Sudanese conflict is the UN Refugee Agency. CGTN's Enock Sikolia spoke to the UNHCR Deputy High Commissioner Clements, who has just returned from Sudan. He began by asking what struck her the most from her visit.
Obviously in the West, in Darfur, it's active war, it's civilians caught in the middle, horrific stories of those refugees that are crossing into Chad or into South Sudan or other neighboring countries, with just horrific stories of personal loss, of trauma, of atrocities in terms of their own experience.
From your perspective, what makes this emergency particularly severe compared to others you've ever witnessed?
Well, 12 million people uprooted since April of 2023. 1 out of every 3 Sudanese is displaced. The needs inside Sudan are enormous in terms of 30 million people in need of humanitarian aid. And when we talk about a protection crisis, children at risk, you tie everything to protection. A hungry child, a fear of conscription, the issues related to the broader famine that is at play.
Reports indicate that in El Fasher, thousands of civilians, many of them children, have been trapped under siege for more than a year.
Of course, it's a dramatic situation. 500 days under siege. Inability for us, the humanitarian community, to be able to access civilians, the inability of civilians to be able to escape, to be able to get out of the city.
Let's talk about funding. Are you able to fund all your programs in Sudan?
Inside Sudan, for the UN Refugee Agency, we're seeking about $420 million of support. We right now have just over 20% of that ask supported. And of the most urgent needs that we need to continue, we are about $100 million short. Now, that means real things. It means the inability in some of the multi-purpose community centers to be able to provide protection services, those that may have faced violence or need psychosocial support, kids that need remedial education, livelihoods for families that might be returning. All of that, we're able to do much less. We're only able to do 1/5 of what we think is the requirement.
We understand you have an engagement with the Chinese government on forming a partnership and just coming on board to help the situation in Sudan. How is it going?
We're in the process right now, I think, of finalizing an engagement with China Aid for thousands to benefit from basic humanitarian aid, which is, of course, more than welcome. But we've been talking over the last few minutes about millions in need. So, of course, we would welcome the solidarity of the Chinese people.
Do you think there is hope for Sudan? And what can the world do at this point in time?
I'm an optimistic person. And in every circumstance, I go back to that 21-year-old that I met in Karire, where she wants an education and she wants to be able to rebuild her community. There is a whole cadre of people, a whole cadre of Sudanese that want to rebuild their country. Just a few years ago, there was hope for Sudan. There is still hope for Sudan. We need peace first. We need investment. We need the world to pay attention.